What happened to Catherine Roberts?
She got 3 years. She should be here now.
What went wrong?
I don't perform miracles. She ignored my advice. Had a very thin defense.
Win some, lose some.
If you like.
Maybe you're not as great as you cracked up to be.
I don't really think this is a very good time for us to argue, Mrs. Travers. I know it's difficult for you.
It's just taking so long, that's all.
I'm sorry.
What?
It's the day after tomorrow. All right.
Come in.
Bad day?
Bad day, bad week, bad year. Have a seat, Steve.
Well, what's happened to the normally very capable and very calm Miss Vernon?
Oh, I'm still very capable. It's just that nobody wants to listen to me, that's all.
Join the club.
I don't know, Steve. When I left uni, I was so idealistic. I seem to have lost all that now. Want a cup of coffee?
No, thanks. I'm about to go home.
Yeah, well, so am I.
So I thought you might be able to help me find out where Karen Travers' mother lives.
Karen's mother? Doesn't she work in a shop somewhere?
No. From what I can find out, she sold the shop, she's sold a business, found a home, and she's completely disappeared.
Why do you want to find her?
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, Karen has a rather shaky appeal.
Not looking good, eh?
It's going to be a rather long, hard struggle. Maybe I'm being a little pessimistic after the Roberts trial, but I thought the mother might be able to help somehow.
I don't know. From what Karen's told me about her, I think she could turn into a hostile witness.
Well, I'd still like to talk to her.
Oh, come in.
Oh, Jean, I'm sorry. I know it's late, but could you have a quick word with Lynn Warner? It's her trial tomorrow.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I think I better be going.
Oh, hey, look, Steve, I'll try and find out where Karen's mother is.
Thanks, Jean.
You bloody welfare people. You screw up everyone's lives.
Oh, I was really shocked, I can tell you. Couldn't be old Ted Warner's daughter, I said to myself. It was on the telly, in the newspapers. Even a couple of the Sunday papers got hold of it. And you know what they can do with a story like that.
Yeah. Well, it was her. I got to live with that for the rest of my life.
I just couldn't believe it.
Sid, will you give the kid a go?
A go?
Yeah, you see, they've got this scheme, work release it's called. They let them out for work during the day.
What, while they're still serving their sentence?
Yeah.
Seems a bit pointless locking them up to me.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, look, Ted, I'm sorry you've been an old army mate and all that, but I can't start employing criminals. What'll my wife say, let alone me customers?
She's not a criminal, she's my daughter. Give the kid a chance, Sid. Doing some real work for a change. Working on the soil, getting her hands dirty. Maybe all of that will straighten the kid out.
I don't know, mate. I don't need any more help. I've got plenty of workers as it is. Anyhow, I couldn't afford to hire any more at the moment. Things are tough. You know that, you're a farmer.
I can give you a few dollars every week if you put her on.
Forget the money. I'll give the kid a break. But listen, if she steps out of line but once, I'll give her such a boot up her ass, you'll hear it from your place.
Have you heard anything from my father?
No, I haven't. Which is not surprising after the little act that you and Doreen put on for him last time he was here.
Yeah, well, he's not much of a father if he can't help me when I really need it.
He does care about you, Lynn, very deeply. It's just that you won't give him a chance.
Me not give him a chance?
Look at it from his point of view. I mean, he put up with the talk of a small country town and having you back home, pregnant and with a new boyfriend, and then you just both go off without even a word.
Yeah, well, if you'd given Doug a chance...
Don't you see, Lynn? I mean, he's had the pain of seeing you in prison. His wife's had a breakdown. He has a responsibility of the farm to run. I mean, I think that's enough for any man.
I didn't want to hurt him. I never meant to hurt them. It's just that...
What do you want me to do for you, Lynn?
Could you have another talk with him?
I'll try. I'll certainly try, but I can't promise anything.
Please, tell him I'm sorry.
Your parents are very concerned about you, Barbara.
Oh, what would they care?
Your father called me from New York last night. He's very upset.
Oh, big deal. I bet he charged the call to the company.
They've cancelled their trip and they're coming home next week.
Well, what good will that do me now if they come back? Will it get me out of here?
Well, it seems to me you're not doing very much to help yourself get out of here. You seem to be making things worse.
Well, you spend some time cooped up in a cage and see how you'd react. All those theories about social reform that Auntie Erica used to spout? Or remember how she carried on? It's a load of bull.
You must live by the rules, Barbara, even if it is your aunt who sets them.
Stupid bitch. She had it in for me the moment I set foot inside these walls.
You mustn't say things like that. It's hardly her fault.
Oh, is it my fault I'm related to her?
Well, it must be bad enough for her being put in this awkward situation.
She doesn't care about anything except the rules. She put me in solitary almost the first day that I arrived. You ought to see what it's like. The cells are putrid. So much for her ideas on prison reform. We're all treated like animals. It's all your bloody fault.
You're becoming quite a regular visitor.
Yes, through no fault of mine. I seem to have become involved in this place, and I'm still wondering how and why. Well, I'll see you tomorrow. Hello.
I asked to see Barbara some time ago. Where is she?
I'm afraid she still has a visitor, Mrs. Davidson.
A visitor?
Yes. Her uncle.
I see. Well, ask Barbara to come to my office as soon as he leaves.
Erica's in a bad mood today. I'm not surprised. Why? That visitor is her husband.
Come in. Is Barbara outside?
No, but there's a visitor to see you.
Who is it?
It's Mr. Davidson.
Shut the door, Meg. Tell him I'm not in.
Oh, but he knows you're here and he wants to see you.
Oh, of all people in the world to come here.
Well, he's been to see Barbara and appears a bit upset.
All right, I'll have to see him. I've no option. Show him in, Meg. Sit down, Michael. I have a very busy schedule this afternoon and not all that much time.
You always make me feel like a schoolboy when I'm with you, Erica. Oh, it's a nice office you've got here, exactly as you always wanted. I remember you used to say...
Oh, for Pete's sake, Michael, what is it you want?
Well, if you want it in black and white, I think you've treated Barbara abominably.
Barbara is being given the usual treatment of prisoners here.
Well, that's exactly what I mean. From what she tells
Barbara
me...
was put in solitary confinement because she smuggled drugs into the prison.
But she didn't tell me that. She just said that...
Quite frankly, Michael, I am not interested in what Barbara has to say about the conditions here. Nor, in fact, am I interested in what you have to say. Outsiders get one version of a story and immediately jump to the wrong conclusions.
Look, Erica, Barbie's just a frightened little kid. She's showing all the signs of cracking up under the conditions in here.
It's just an act, Michael, and you fell for it. She always could twist you round her little finger.
Yeah, what do you think, huh? You think... Oh, sorry about that, madam. Real sorry. Come on.
Hi, love. Come on in and sit down. Oh, Jesus, Doreen, turn that racket down. First. She'd like to see a photograph of my daughter.
Yeah. Oh, she's very pretty.
Yeah, lovely little thing. Not too good at her schoolwork, mind you, but a good heart. She'd be mad about all these pop stars. Never understand it myself. Paint all over their faces, all that mad gear they get into. Used to camp in the rain for days sometimes just to get a ticket to go to one of their concerts.
You must miss her.
Yeah, I do. Dreadfully. You've got a daughter, haven't you?
Yes.
Bet you miss her. Good kid, is she?
I couldn't have wanted a nicer child.
Good at her schoolwork.
Oh, yes, she's always been good at her work.
Yeah, you must be proud of her.
I am.
Do you have a nice house, Kate? Big place, eh?
I I've been very lucky. I've had most things that people want.
Nice kitchen, all mod cons, dishwasher and all that, eh?
I had everything, Bea.
Lovely life. I never had anything like that.
Bea, what did you do to end up in here?
Well, what I did was no worse than what you did, Kate. And we're both paying for it. But geez, was it worth it?
Relatives. Who needs them?
What did your uncle say?
My parents are coming back from New York next week.
Half your luck.
Are you kidding? That's when it'll start. Ruining the family name, all that crap. That's all they care about.
My family's completely deserted me.
You're lucky. What a mess. You had a second chance, didn't you? A chance to get out of this crummy place.
Uh-huh.
But you blew it, didn't you?
That niece of mine is causing more trouble than she's worth. I have the department on my back saying that I've been giving her special privileges. There's going to be a full-scale investigation into that. I have a husband who accuses me of treating her abominably because I placed her in solitary, with the added insinuation that I'm causing her a mental breakdown. I leave the prison for one afternoon and there is immediate chaos. If an officer under my jurisdiction is involved in smuggling drugs into the prison, then I shall be the first to be told about it, not the department. The department is told after I have conducted a full inquiry into the matter and come up with the facts and not just the gossip. Do you understand me, Meg?
Yes, Mrs. Davidson.
Why was the visiting justice given all the information before I was informed?
Well, Barbara made these accusations and she seemed so definite about them. I thought the whole matter should be brought into the open.
Was I implicated in these accusations?
No, of course not.
Then who informed the VJ that I was Barbara's aunt? It wasn't you, Meg.
No, it wasn't.
Vera, I might have known. She's been itching to take over my job for years. Having my niece in the prison could be just the opportunity she's been waiting for.
I reckon she's a real snob. And I think she's a right bitch. The joke was funny. Everybody else laughed.
Yeah, I thought it was that funny I nearly fell into me porridge.
But Mrs. Upton, Snobnose, she reckoned was filthy. Everyone shut up and start listening to her.
Listen, you lot. Kate's a lady, a real lady, and far better than the likes of you. So just shut up and treat her decently or you'll hear from me.
Oh, good morning, madam. Has madam come to do a spot of work in the laundry?
Madam's cocktails are ready by the pool. Or would madam
You
prefer...
heard me, Doreen. Come to work in the laundry, Kate.
Well, I'm not quite sure what I'm supposed to be doing.
Hey, you. Got any fags on you?
Oh, Barbie doesn't smoke. You deal in hard drugs, don't you, Barb?
Nah, she smokes. I know she does. Where are they?
If you got any more in your cell, you may as well give them to me now. Save your broken face.
Doing your Frankie impersonation, Doreen.
It's nice to see Barbara sharing her goods with her fellow prisoners. Roberts, as you're not assigned to work in the laundry, I suggest you get out and let these other women do some work.
I'm going to report that woman
What on earth for?
for turning her back on violence in the prison.
I'm going to report that woman.
Well, if you know what's good for you, you'll turn a blind eye, too.
Hurry up, Roberts.
Uncle Screw's being nasty anymore. Auntie, they're being nasty to me.
Hello. Yes, I'd like to speak to Mr. Ted Warner, please. Oh. Do you know when he'll be back? I see. Could you tell him that Jean Vernon phoned? Just a moment. Come in. Yes, it's most important. He has my phone number. V-E-R... That's right, you've got it. Thanks a lot. Bye. Well, hello, Steve.
You seem bright and cheerful this morning.
Fighting fit. What's your problem? Chair price has gone down.
Please, I'm just not in the mood.
Oh, I'm sorry. What's the problem?
Oh, I seem to be inundated with hopeless cases.
Well, you did all you could for Catherine Roberts.
More could have been done if she'd just listened to me.
Yeah, well, join the club.
And now I've got Lynn Warner's case this afternoon. You know, quite honestly, I don't think the girl wants to help herself. So what can I possibly do for her? In fact, I wish I hadn't taken on the case in the first place.
Lynn's case is very important to me. Now, I want to get out of that prison for once and for all.
Well, she's got to drop this hardened criminal act. Then maybe I can do something. But if I put her on the stand and she starts playing up, then it'll just go against her.
I've got news for you. I think Lynn may be reverting to her old self.
Oh, she better. And fast.
I had a talk with her yesterday. She wanted me to apologize to her father. Now, I'm sure that if we could get Ted Warner here, then her attitude would change.
Well, have you spoken with Ted?
I've been trying to. I left a message, but he's not there.
I got news for you. I've just met Ted at the gate. He's with Lynn now.
Oh, hello, Lynn.
Hello, Dad. Did Miss Vernon get in touch with you?
No. Did she want to see me about something?
Oh, no, it was nothing important.
I went to see Sid Butterfield yesterday. He's an old army mate of mine. He runs a nursery now, and I've got a job there for you.
A job?
Well, that's if you get your work release and if the governor says it's all right. I didn't know whether you wanted me to help you or not.
Oh, Dad, of course I do. I'm sorry for running away like that, for everything that's happened. I never meant to hurt you or Mum.
Oh. There's nothing I wouldn't do for my little girl. You know that.
Gotta go. I've got another call before Lynn's trial.
Do you mind if I hang around a little? There's just a few things that I'd like to check with Ted.
No, of course not. Just make yourself at home, won't you? I'll see you after the trial then. Good luck.
Thanks.
Oh, Mr. Warner. Good to see you.
I've come about the work release scheme. Could I talk to you about it?
Oh, I've got to fly.
Well, please, when could I see you?
Well, there'll be plenty of time to talk after the trial. Have you seen Lynn?
Yes.
How is she?
She's a good girl. Deep down, she is a good girl.
I know she is. That's why we all must fight for her.
Well, Mr. Warner, once you come in, I'd just like to have a word with you, huh?
Well, bye for now.
Sit down, won't you? There are a couple of things that I need to say, but, just before we go. In the car, I'll want to run through the sort of questions that you'll be asked in court. Questions about Lynn's background, the people she knew, various places of employment, things like that.
I don't suppose she's got a chance. My God, I hope you can do something to help her.
The letter from the department goes further than special treatment towards my niece. Much further. It goes so far as to suggest that I actually helped Barbara smuggle drugs into the prison.
I can't imagine who would have started such a rumor.
Did you tell Goodwin that I was Barbara's aunt?
Of course. Well, I knew you wanted it kept quiet from the prisoners, but I didn't think this applied to VJs as well.
Did you imply that I was giving any kind of preferential treatment towards Barbara?
No, of course not. In fact, I was very careful to deny any such implication.
That'll be all, Vera.
Do you have any special instructions when next I deal with Davidson?
You know my policy in this prison.
Then I shall go on treating her exactly as I have been doing.
You were supposed to give me some fags, remember?
I haven't got any.
You give me them fags, you stupid bitch.
Piss off.
Aren't you going to do something?
No, let him get out of their system.
Anderson, get up from there! Both of you! What the hell do you think you're doing?
Oh, she's mental. She just up and attacked me for nothing.
Clean up this mess, you. Did you hear me? Clean it up or go back to solitary.
Miss Bennett, you're blaming the wrong girl. It was Doreen that started the fight.
Shut up, you, or you'll end up in solitary as well.
Oh, you are running this place real good, Vera.
Now clean it up.
I'll be coming to your cell for the fags.
The lunch bell's gone. Aren't you going to have something to eat?
I'm not hungry.
You should let the governor know about what happened.
She wouldn't give a damn.
You were being picked on, Barbara. I think the governor should know when warders have it in for certain prisoners.
She's behind all this, don't you see? She wants me given a hard time to get her own back.
I still think you should tell her.
Bugger off, will you?
I reckon we've got to get danger money for eating that bloody crap. I remember once we got a whole lot of salt and poured all over the food and then got the governor to taste it. She nearly died to taste it so awful. God, it was funny. Had a few things changed in the kitchen then, I can tell you. She even let us cook our own meals for a while.
What happened?
We lost interest.
Barbara didn't come into lunch.
Oh, who cares? Let her starve.
She's so young. She shouldn't be in a place like this.
Yeah, well, where would you put her?
I'd hate it for Sarah to be in here. I had such hopes for Sarah. Hoped she'd do all the things that I wanted to do before I got married.
Well, what's the idea of talking about the kid as if she was dead? Oh, she's got a whole life ahead of her. She'll end up doing all the things you wanted to do. You wait and see.
It's just I feel so helpless in here. There's nothing I can do for her. She's on her own now, and she's just got to fend for herself.
What's your old man like? Is he a decent sort of bloke?
Thanks. Of course he is. Well, I just couldn't have wanted a better man.
Want to keep an eye on the girl? Keep her out of trouble?
He has to. For Sarah's sake.
Yeah, but is he the kind of bloke that you can go to for a bit of, support and understanding?
He's a very good man, Bea, and I love him very much. But I don't know if he's capable of looking after Sarah. I get the feeling he wants her out of the way.
Oh, yeah. Bloody men. They are all the same.
You must fret about your daughter. Who's taking care of her now?
My daughter's dead, Kate.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Bea.
She was left in the care of her old man, too. But he didn't want her in the place. Threw her out. And she got mixed up with the wrong sort of crowd. They got into all kinds of trouble. Sniffing glue, smoking dope, putting Valium in their coke. And then she got into heroin. And that was the end of her. She'd come and visit me here in prison and asked me to help her. What could I do, stuck in here? Nothing. Except watch her die. Bit by bit. And that's what broke my heart. And you know something, Kate? Vera Bennett wouldn't even let me go to her funeral. That stinking bitch wouldn't even let me bury my own daughter.
Roberts, you've got a visitor. Well, come on, hurry up. It's your kid. She's in the garden. And you, Smith, can get back to the laundry where you belong.
Sarah, darling, I'm so pleased to see you. Why aren't you in school?
I wasn't feeling well, so I didn't go today.
Oh, does your father know?
No. What does he care what I do?
Well, how did you get out here?
I hitchhiked.
You what?
It's all right, Mom. I can take care of myself.
Oh, after all you've been through, you're just inviting trouble.
What does it matter now? The worst happened. There's no point in being afraid anymore.
I think you're taking a rather silly attitude, Sarah.
Who really cares what has happened to me anyway? You've ended up in jail and can't do anything for me, and Dad just wants to get rid of me.
It'll all be all right in the end, Sarah. You just need to have a little patience.
You want to get rid of me too. I'm an embarrassment to the family, now I know it. You all hate me because of what's happened.
Oh, that's just not true. Your father and I love you dearly.
You should hear him. He's terrified that the business will suffer because of what's happened.
Well, he has got a lot on his plate at the moment, Sarah. He needs you to be patient with him now.
Patient? He's sending me to Ballarat, so I'll be out of the way. So people will stop talking about me and business will start to pick up.
If you don't want to go to Ballarat, darling, you tell your father to come and see me, and then I'll talk to him.
He's not going to take any notice of you. I'd better go.
Sarah, don't hitchhike home. Get yourself a taxi. You'll find some money in my dressing table drawer.
Don't worry, Mum. Nobody's ever laying a finger on me again.
You're in a good mood today.
Glad you noticed.
I gather Lynn's trial went well.
Indeed it did. Better than I'd hoped, actually.
What did she get?
12 months with remission.
And what are you going to do for me, Steve?
Karen, do you know where your mother is?
No, I don't.
Well, apparently she sold her house and the business.
I didn't know that.
Do you know anyone who might know where she is?
Why do you want to know?
Well, I'd like to call her as a witness.
Oh, she'd make a great witness for the prosecution.
Is there anyone, a friend, who might know where she is?
My mother never had many friends. But there is Madge Whitten. She might be able to help.
Excuse me. Mrs. Whitten?
Oh, I'm afraid she's out. Could I take a message? I'm Mrs. Healy, a friend of hers.
Mrs. Healy. Well, it's actually you I'm looking for. I'm Stephen Wilson, your daughter's lawyer.
Oh, I'm afraid there's nothing anyone can do for her now.
Oh, I'm not so sure about that.
Look, Mr. Wilson, I'm finished with her. I've sold everything up and I'm moving to Queensland to get married. I want to forget everything that's happened and just start again.
Karen is appealing against her sentence.
I don't care what she's doing, as long as she doesn't involve me.
I just want to ask you a few questions, if I may.
Well, I'm afraid I don't have the time. I'm leaving the state in a few days, and I've got a lot to do before then.
Mrs. Healy, your daughter's life is at stake here.
Look, Karen did admit she was guilty. What is the point in dragging it all out again?
Now, couldn't we just go inside and have a chat for a few moments?
I don't want to get involved.
What was Wayne Travers like?
Wayne? Wayne was a good man.
Yes, but did you know that he and Karen didn't get on too well?
All marriages have their little tiffs, don't they?
Did you know that Wayne was frequently violent toward Karen?
I really must be going, Mr. Wilson.
Mrs. Healy, did you know that Wayne Travers was frequently violent
I will
toward Karen?
not be bullied by you. Now, please leave me alone.
Did you ever see her with any signs of physical violence on her body?
Once or twice she came to me. No, never.
Did she ever say she was going to leave him?
Yes, on a few occasions, but they always got back together again. It was never anything serious.
Cecily, why didn't you come forward with this information at the trial?
Well, what was the use? Karen had already admitted killing him.
Yes, but you may have been able to help her.
Look, don't you think I'd suffered enough without dragging out more filth at the trial? If you please excuse me, I have an appointment.
Mrs. Healy, did you know that Karen was pregnant and that Wayne forced her into having an abortion?
Why would he want to do a thing like that? Oh, I don't believe you. Wayne was a good Catholic. Well, perhaps he didn't go to Mass as often as Karen, but he believed in the faith. He even joked about not wanting to have any children, but he'd never made Karen have an abortion. Never.
Mrs. Healy, I want you to come into court and testify on Karen's behalf.
No, I can't do that. It's not worth the risk. I have my friend to consider. It would absolutely ruin my relationship with him.
You are still Karen's mother. You still have a sense of responsibility toward her. You can't just leave her now, not when she needs you most.
Come in.
Mr. Davidson to see you.
Show him in, please.
Ah, Erica. I see you got my flowers.
You must think I'm easily bored.
What do you mean?
A few trifles and I'll start giving Barbara special treatment. I know what you're up to.
That was not my intention, Erica.
You would never have sent me flowers unless Barbara was in the prison.
Look, Erica, Barbara refuses to see me, and I don't know what to do. Her parents will be back from New York soon.
Not to see a visitor is a prisoner's privilege.
For Christ's sake, Erica, can't you stop talking like a governor just for one moment? Look, why don't we have dinner tonight, somewhere away from the prison, and discuss the matter? What do you say?
I've too much work to do.
For heaven's sake, Erica, this is just as important. And after all, it is family.
12 months. Not bad, eh?
Mm-hmm. They're going to put me on work release.
Travers, you have a visitor.
Bit late for visitors, isn't it?
Yes, if it was up to me.
Bloody old misery.
Work release is a lot of crap. The bosses treat you like dirt and they give you the jobs no one else wants.
Yeah? Well, I don't mind. I'm happy to do that.
Well, looks like Doreen's going to have to pay the heavy all on her own from now on.
What are you doing here?
Karen, your lawyer came to see me this afternoon.
Oh.
He said you're appealing against your sentence.
Yes.
But why, Karen? I mean, what's the sense in it?
There are a lot of things that weren't brought up at the original trial.
But an appeal doesn't make you any the less guilty.
Look, I'm sorry if I'm upsetting your life, but my own life hasn't exactly been a bed of roses.
Your lawyer said that Wayne used to beat you.
You know perfectly well what Wayne used to do to me. He just refused to believe it ever happened.
He also said you had an abortion. Look, Karen, you've got to understand. I've got a future to protect. I mean, Charles is the manager of a large firm in Queensland now, and I really can't
I didn't ask anybody to bother you.
Karen, come and sit down. I want to talk to you.
I've never asked for your help before, and I'm not going to start now.
Sign here. This way.
Thank you.
Oh, Mrs. Healy.
Oh, Mr. Wilson.
Have you just been to see Karen?
Yes, not that it did any good.
Well, can we talk?
Some other time.
Perhaps over dinner.
I don't know. I've got a lot to do before tomorrow.
Please, Mrs. Healy. It really is most important.
All right, then, but just don't expect too much.
So you see, there's no one else who knew Wayne who could testify as to his ill treatment of Karen.
I can't see how I can help. Don't really know anything I could swear to. What about her doctor? I mean, surely he'd know if Karen was being beaten by her husband.
Well, the doctor saw only one bruise.
Use him in court, and he'd carry a lot of weight.
I can't. Karen told him that she got the bruise by bumping into a door. Mrs. Healy, you are the only one who knew that Wayne and Karen had disagreements. And you are the only one who knew that Wayne Travers didn't want to have children.
Who is that?
Steve Wilson. He's the lawyer handling the appeal for one of the prisoners.
Wherever you go, Erica, the prison is sure to follow. Will you help Karen in her appeal?
Well, really, I would like to help, but... Well, after all, I've only got Karen's word for all this, and she did admit to being guilty in the first place. As for me, I have my own life to take care of. I'm sorry, Mr. Wilson, but that's my answer. Thank you for the meal.
We'd like to get right into it here. And we've discovered, of course, that you have a very beautiful country here. It's a very beautiful countryside and everything. And we have a place in West Virginia. It's a very beautiful river valley of the same name. It's called the
Didn't you hear that, fellas? Roberts, turn that rubbish off.
Oh, geez, Beer, it's a really good program and it's nearly over.
Come on, back to your cells, a lot of you. Well, come on, Roberts. This isn't a holiday camp.
Ken and I always used to watch that program together. I wonder what he's doing tonight.
How's school today?
I didn't go.
You gotta go to school?
Why?
Because I said so, that's why. How are you gonna make something of yourself if you don't go to school?
Dad, I don't want to go to Ballarat.
Don't make things even harder, Sarah.
I'm not. I just don't want to go away, that's all.
Sarah, I can't look after you properly without your mother. You must know that.
You don't have to look after me, Dad. I can look after you. I can cook and clean and mend things.
Look, a lot of things have changed now. It's not as easy as you think. Business? Clients are taking the business elsewhere now. They all know what's happened, and we're in for a pretty rough time.
That's why I want to be with you, Dad.
Sarah, it's better for everyone if you stay with your aunt until I can get things sorted out. I don't know. I'm lost without your mother. She could always keep things together. I can't do that.
Please don't send me away, Dad.
Sweetheart, I don't want to make your life even more miserable than it already is.
You should go and see Mum, you know, Dad. She's very lonely.
Yeah,
and leave me alone. Look, where am I meant to sleep tonight?
Why aren't you in your cell? Didn't you hear the bell?
I can't get in.
What do you mean you can't get in? Who's in there?
It's Barbara. She's barricaded herself in.
Listen, Davidson, this is Miss Bennett.
Barbara, I'll screw.
You've got exactly 1 minute to open up this door and let me in.
You try anything, Vera, and I'll set fire to this mattress and burn the whole place down, me included.
All right?
No, thank you.
Oh, come on, drink up. It's too good to waste.
Just a little.
You know, there were good times in our marriage, Erica. Early on in our early life, we had happy times together. We were a good partnership.
You always did have the knack of only remembering what suited you.
Oh, don't be like that, Erica. You must admit, in those first years...
I also remember the last years. And even now, they leave a very nasty taste in my mouth.
Well, it was ambition that split us up.
Was it indeed?
Mm-hmm. You always did want to get to the top.
And I did.
Yes, you did. And look what you left behind you. Poor, lonely man with no one to take care of.
Indeed. I always thought those dolly birds looked after you very well.
Well, they did, to a certain extent. But there was always something missing from my life, Erica.
I thought we were here to discuss Barbara.
Ah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
You must realize that I cannot use my position to break the rules.
Seems to me you may be doing exactly the opposite.
What do you mean by that?
Well, you must admit if Barbara was some other first offender, you'd be doing everything you could to help her.
Michael, just what are you insinuating?
Look, I'm not insinuating anything. Don't overreact. All I'm saying that Barbara could maybe be allowed to finish a degree or so. I don't know, anything that would make her life in that place more bearable.
I have done everything I can for that girl and more. And what has she done in return? Nothing except cause me acute embarrassment with the department. My reputation is suffering because of her. She is rude, uncooperative, ungrateful, and disruptive. She's caused friction amongst the prisoners and annoyed hell out of my staff. I am sick to death of her juvenile antics. It's about time she grew up, Michael.
Excuse me, madam, but you were wanted on the phone.
Thank you. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Geez, do you think she'll really burn herself to death like she says?
Could do.
If she does set her room alight, do you think they'll be able to get her out before?
Probably not.
Didn't think anything like this would happen.
What did you expect? The way you've been pushing her around.
But I didn't think she'd crack up like this.
Oh, well, she deserves all she gets. Bloody drugs.
Well, not everyone on drugs is bad, Bea. Your own daughter was on them, remember?
Shut up, Doreen.
Get back to your own cells. All of you. Anderson, I want you to help Warner put another bunk into your cell. She'll have to move in with you tonight.
Oh, but I don't want to.
Just do as you're told.
You'll be all right, Lynn. Honest.
Michael, something cropped up. I have to go back to the prison.
Oh, just like old times.
They're sending a car for me, so you needn't worry about driving me out there.
Erica, will you do something for the kid? Thrash the whole thing out with her.
If the prison is still there when I get back, I shall certainly thrash it out with her.
The first I heard of it was when I found Warner pounding on the door trying to get in. This was just after the bell had gone. I tried to open the door, but couldn't. I asked Davidson to open it, and she replied by telling me to go away. I then told her she had exactly 1 minute to let me in, to which she replied that if I tried anything, she would set fire to the mattresses and burn the whole place down, herself included.
She's just a spoilt brat looking for attention.
What do you propose to do?
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing? But how?
We'll leave Barbara exactly where she is. She's had a very easy life all these years. Going hungry for a few days is something she's never tried. And I really don't think her convictions are stronger than her stomach. Don't you agree, Miss Bennett?
He used to give me roses I wish he could again, but that was on the outside, and things were different then. On the inside, the sun still shines, and the rain falls down, but the sun and rain are prisoners too. Comes around. Last night I dreamed we were together, sharing